To begin in our child's pose, and we have two options for child's pose. You can take your knees together and fold forward. That's going to be a nicer stretch for your lower back. Taking your knees a little bit wider and keeping your feet together is going to be a little bit more of an opener for your hips. So whatever you want to choose, go ahead and walk your arms forward. You can let the elbows rest down, totally relax your arms, and then release your forehead down towards the floor. Just take a few long breaths into your underarms and your hips. And allow that breath to come into your lower back, filling up the back of your rib cage. Let's take about 3 more breaths here, making some space in your back body. Noticing the weight of your forehead and the weight of your hips. With your next breath in, just slowly walk your hands right back up to that kneeling position that we were in before. And we're going to be here for a moment or two. So if you're uncomfortable kneeling on your feet, you're welcome to grab a block and just sit on the block. So you can turn it either way and just sit up like this. Or if you're comfortable sitting on your feet, just stay right here. We're going to take the hands, interlace the fingers, push the palms forward, and then reach the arms all the way up over your head. Draw the pit of your belly and the tailbone towards the floor, and then lift and lengthen up through the heart and the crown of your head. Press through the palms and gently draw your biceps back by the ears with an inhale. And as you exhale, press your hands forward, pull the navel in like you're doing cat-cows. Drop your shoulders, bring your chin towards your chest. And then again, inhale as you lift up, lengthening. And exhale as you round again through the upper back, draw the belly in. One more time, inhale, lift up. And exhale, round the spine once again. Okay. From here, reach your arms back up overhead. Release your hands, just roll out your wrists as you take those hands all the way behind your back. And once again, interlace your fingers once they get back there. Try to pull your knuckles towards the floor. Bring the palms to touch if you can. Keep the belly engaged, the front ribs drawing in towards your spine. And then lean your head over towards the left shoulder. Think about pulling your right shoulder down, your knuckles towards the mat. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, bring your chin in towards your chest and just roll your head all the way over towards the right side. And you might find that lifting and lowering your chin just on this side can feel quite nice. Let's roll the head back over to the left side one more time over here. Again, you can lift and lower the chin. And then the last time over to the right, roll the head down and then across. And then slowly just release your head back into neutral. Release those hands. You can shake out the wrist. Sometimes my fingers go a little bit numb here. Take one hand onto your chest, and then the other hand comes right on top. All you're going to do is push in, and then pull your hands down. Now lift your chin up as high as you can without hurting yourself, right? Just until you find a nice stretch here. Slowly release, coming back into center. Take your left hand onto your chin, your right hand behind the top of your head, and then simply press your chin in towards your chest and the top of your head forward as you soften the shoulders down the back. Take a nice big breath. And then slowly release once again. Good. All right. From here, we're going to make our way up onto all fours just for a moment. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Walk your knees back so they're directly underneath your hips. With a breath in, take your left arm up towards the sky. And as you exhale, we're going to twist. So thread the needle. Take your left arm underneath your right arm. Walk the hand out on towards the mat until the left shoulder comes down towards the floor. From there, you can rest the head down. You have options here. You can reach the right arm forward. I prefer this. I'm going to stay right here. Another option that you can do is take that right hand behind your back. Maybe finding your left hip crease and then working on really opening that right shoulder up. Okay, so whatever option feels good for you, I encourage you to play with the length and the hips. So try making more space in the left side by pushing your left sitting bone towards the back of your mat. One more breath in. And then slowly come back into center, grounding your right hand down onto the floor, just helping yourself come back into center. Plant your hands on the mat. Take one cat-cow. So with an inhale, you're going to lift the chest, lift the tailbone, breathe in. As you exhale, round your spine, belly, inch into chest. Good. Come back into neutral. Take your right arm, reach it all the way up towards the sky. And on your exhale, you're going to twist once again, taking that arm underneath the left until the shoulder comes to the mat. Rest the head. Take your left hand either forward or behind your back, whatever feels good for you. All right, so take a big breath in. And on your exhale, make your way back out of this, coming back up into that tabletop position. And from here, we're just going to bring the knees together once again. Sit back on the feet. Again, you can sit on a block if you'd like. We're going to grab our straps. Okay, so I'm going to use a t-shirt right now. You can use a towel. You can use whatever you have, maybe a belt that's long enough. We're going to take the strap or the shirt out in front of you. Okay, and you're going to adjust the length depending on your shoulder mobility, and we'll figure that out in a moment. So all I want you to do is take that strap all the way up above your head, and we're going to try to bring it all the way behind us. If you get stuck up here, lengthen your strap, and then try to make your way all the way back and down towards your heels. Good. And then once again, take it all the way up, and then forward, up in front of you. Good. And take it all the way back again. Good. Let's do that about 2 more times. Just working on that shoulder mobility, opening the front of the chest, the shoulders. Okay, last one. Bring it all the way up. Bring it behind you. Good. Let's take it back in front of us. Awesome. Now go ahead and release that strap. You can put it off to the side. We're going to grab both blocks. The blocks are going to come out in front of us, and I'd like you to put them on the second highest level. So not flat, not all the way up, but the second highest. From here, we're basically going to come into puppy pose using blocks. So I want you to kind of walk your knees back. You can take your knees a little bit wider than usual just for support. Take your elbows to the front of your blocks. It's a little bit awkward getting into. It's a little bit awkward coming out of. Okay, so you have to take your elbows to the front of the blocks. And then we're going to rest the head down. Take your hands to the back of your neck. If you want to make this more intense, walk your knees back. If it's too much, walk your knees forward. This stuff is all really great for if you sit a lot or you're working a lot. Get a tight chest, tight shoulders. And this movement is the exact opposite. It's really opening up the front of our body, the heart space. To allow yourself to melt down into the chest a Might not look pretty, that's okay. Try to look forward, and then inch your elbows back and support yourself as you come out of it. All right, yeah, it's a big one. Put your blocks off to the side. Back into that tabletop position once again. We're going to bring the knees to touch each other. From here, I'd like you to swing your left shin out to the left side, so it's parallel with the back of your mat. Take your right leg straight back behind you towards the back of your mat. Take your right arm, reach it forward. Okay. So the hips are lifting high, and now all we want to do is make some circles with that right shoulder. So with an inhale, draw the arm back behind you, and as you exhale, roll it forward and down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, roll it down. One more time, breathe in. Good. And as you exhale, plant both hands down onto your mat. Take your knees to touch each other, and then swing right over to the other side. Right shin out, left leg back, left arm forward. So find the stretch in the waist first, just reach through the fingertips. Good. And with your next breath in, take the arm back behind you. Good. Then swing it down in front. Good. Again, inhale as you lift and open. Exhale, bring it down. Good. One more time, breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Ground the hands on the mat. Bring yourself back into tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes underneath this time. Feet are about hips distance apart. Now I want you to push your upper back towards the ceiling, okay? So press the shoulder blades away from each other. Draw your belly in. Toes are tucked. We're going to hover the knees up off of the floor. Good. So here you're going to start to feel your shoulders fire up. Right? The core is working. Pretend that you're pulling your feet towards your hands. Good. And keep pressing the scapulas away from each other like you're pushing your upper back towards the ceiling, hands into mat. Good. Stay with the breath. Elongate through the neck and the crown of the head. Okay. 3 more breaths. Stay in it. Awesome, you guys. Inhale. As you exhale, we're coming into plank, okay? So all you're going to do is straighten your legs out behind you. I know this is a lot. Try to push the floor away from you. Lengthen through the back of the heels, through the top of your head. Draw your belly in. Good, 3 breaths. That's it. Try to keep your arms straight. Those shoulders working. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Press your shoulders towards your ankles. Just relax. Try to find that outer rotation of the shoulders. Nice, strong arms. Take a long inhale. Long exhale. Good. Now we're going to lower the elbows onto the mat. If you need to do it one at a time, go for it. You can look forward and just check that your forearms are parallel to each other. It's okay to drop those elbows down. Perfect. And then from here, bend your knees and push your chest back towards your ankles. You're really trying to open up underneath the shoulders. Yeah. And then maybe try to soften those heels towards the floor a little bit more. Good. Breathe. Really fire up the breath. I'm going to make those shoulders work a little bit before we stretch them out again. From here, we're coming into a low plank. So look between your hands. You can step your feet back a little bit so that you can level out the hips with the shoulders. And again, scoop your tailbone under. Push the upper back towards the ceiling and breathe. Good. Normally the body can stay in this for a long time. You'd be super surprised. Your mind is the thing that's telling you to get out of here. Okay, so stay in it. If you have to drop your knees, that's totally fine. Take one more breath. We're coming back into dolphin. Lift the hips, walk your feet in, and the heart melts back again towards those ankles. Tune into the breath. Good. Take one more big breath in. Last time in our low plank, you guys. Walk your feet back. You have this. Just stay in the breath. It's just simply one breath after another. This is your choice, your chance to just show up for yourself in this moment. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Try to make more space between the shoulder blades. Breathe in. And then slowly lower the hips down to the floor. Nice job. Okay. We're coming into Sphinx pose. Okay, getting a little sweaty. Pull the shoulder blades back. Pull the heart forward and push down into all 10 of your toes. And just breathe into the front of the shoulders here. Okay. All right, now we're gonna walk the left arm forward. This one's a little tricky, so listen carefully because it takes a decent amount of engagement to get into this. Take your right arm underneath your left arm. You're gonna walk that hand out as far as you can. The shoulder's gonna come down to the mat. But instead of twisting to your left, look down at your mat. Take the palm of your right hand towards the ceiling and push your fingertips down. And then walk your left hand forward more. Okay, so eventually you take your chin down, the nose would come towards the mat. And the action is like you're pulling your right arm back from where it came from. Okay, and then rolling your left shoulder down into that right arm. You can relax your neck here. Take a full breath in. And slowly start to unwind. All right, guys. We're going to take the right arm straight out to the side now. Okay. The elbow should be lined up with your shoulder. Ground your left hand down onto the floor and look to your left. Good. Right arm straight out to the side. Perfect. And then slowly roll onto your right hip. Your left foot may or may not come to the floor behind you. You can bend your left knee if you like. And then maybe take your left arm, reach it up towards the ceiling, and then take the back of your hand to the small of your back. And then press your hand into your back to open up that left shoulder as well. And if your neck is hanging here, especially with guys, they have bigger shoulders. So if it's uncomfortable for you, if you want to put a block underneath your head, you're welcome to do that. If you feel comfortable with your head hanging, you can stay there. Big breath here. And then slowly just start to unwind. We're going to meet back in the middle. Awesome. To transition, before we come to the other side, interlace your hands behind your back. Press the tops of the feet down into the floor, and then lift your chest up off of the mat. Good. Now to engage the stretch, or to find the stretch in the front of the shoulders, lift your hands up away from your glutes as much as you can. So you're pulling your hands up towards the ceiling, pulling the chest forward, and then lengthen through the back of your neck. And then stay in your breath. One more big inhale, and then slowly release. Nice job, you guys. Take your right arm forward. Lift your chest up a little bit, enough to slide your left arm underneath that shoulder. Good. And then again, you want to walk this left hand out as far as you can. Drop the shoulder towards the mat. You can flip the left palm upside down and just push the fingertips down into the floor. And then walk the right hand forward. And eventually it's like you're bringing your nose down towards the mat here. Keep trying to roll your right shoulder towards the floor. And you can relax your neck as much as you can. and then slowly start to come out of it. So the right hand is going to walk in. Make space for your left arm to come straight out towards your side. Those blocks away if you need to. And then again, we're going to look towards the right. It's important to make sure that your left elbow is in line with the shoulder, and then roll towards your left hip. So if you can rest the right foot down behind you, go for it. If not, doesn't matter. You can stay stacked with your legs, whatever feels comfortable. Okay. And then again, if you'd like, you can take your right arm up towards the sky, and maybe behind the small of your back. Try to open up that right shoulder as well. Just try to notice the space that you're creating in the front left chest, in the pectoral muscles, the front of the shoulder. Take 2 more long breaths where you are. And then nice and slowly just start to come out of it. Okay, unwinding as you come back into center. And then from here, plant your hands down underneath your shoulders. Press yourself all the way back up into a kneeling position, sitting on your feet once again. And the last thing we're going to do for now is taking the elbows out in front of us. We're going to come into eagle arms. This is one of my favorite shoulder stretches. You're just going to take your right elbow underneath your left elbow. If you can, try to clasp your hands to touch. If that's not an option, you can push the back of your hands together. You can also just take your hands to your shoulders if that's still not available. Either way, press your elbows in towards one another. Lift your elbows as high as you can, but then drop your shoulders as low as you can. And then breathe into that space between the shoulder blades. Those muscles at the base of the neck. If you can, think about moving your hands away from you here to deepen the stretch even more. Good. Slowly release your hands. Before we transition, take the hands up to the shoulders. And with an inhale, bring the elbows forwards out in front of you, and then as high up as you can. And then exhale, bring them all the way down behind you. Good. And again, inhale. And exhale. Last time. And release. Let's switch direction now. So lift them up and back. And then exhale, bring them forward. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Last time, breathe in. And then just pause with the forearms out in front of you. Okay, we're going to come into the same thing, other side. Left elbow comes underneath the right this time. Palms come to touch. Same thing, you can take back of the hands together, front of the hands or hands to shoulders. Press the elbows in towards one another. And then lift the elbows up high, drop the shoulders down the back. Try to stay long in your spine, and then again, maybe to deepen the stretch even more, you push your hands forward slightly. Good. One more breath in, and then slowly release. Okay. This time, just place the hands on the knees. And take a few big shoulder shrugs, big shoulder rolls. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and lie down on our back. So shift yourself all the way down. Okay. We're going to grab a block. And that block is going to come to the space between your shoulder blades. I prefer this center level. You can also do flat level if you're not very open in your back. So not only is this a little bit of a back bend, but it's also a lovely chest and shoulder opener. So you're simply going to lie down on this. Your neck should be hanging just off of the block. Okay, I might normally put mine down a little bit longer. So it's right in between the shoulder blades. From there, you can take your arms straight out to the side. Okay. The legs can come all the way down onto the floor, or you can come into Baddha Konasana. Okay, so that would be the soles of the feet together, the knees wide. And all you're doing is trying to create some space in the front of the shoulders here. And if you'd like, you guys, you can take a block underneath your head if your neck is uncomfortable with hanging off of the block. Just stay here for about another 5 breaths. Support yourself as you come back up. If you want to take one hand to the back of your head, almost like you're lifting your own head to come up. And then you can just reach back with your opposite hand and remove your block. Okay, and we're going to just lie all the way back down onto the floor once again. Bend your knees so your heels come in towards your sitting bones. You want to barely be able to touch your heels with your fingertips here. It's going to be the right alignment. Bend your elbows so that your fingers are pointed towards the ceiling. Okay, and then squish your shoulder blades together as much as you possibly can, like you're puffing your chest up towards the sky. So you're going to find an arch in your back. Now I want you to keep that arch, push into the back of your arm bones, and lift your hips up towards the sky. Okay. Lengthen through the back of your neck. Root down into the feet, and then maybe here interlace your hands behind your back. And then maybe scooch to one shoulder and then the other to open up those front of the shoulders just a little bit more. And then of course the hips are lifted here, but try to bring that lift into the chest, like your chest is moving towards your chin. And then keeping your hands exactly as they are, see if you can lower your hips down on top of your wrists. So this should feel really good on your shoulders, you guys. If it doesn't, please just release your hands. There's no sense in being here. Our bodies are all very, very different from one another, so yoga is all about sort of figuring out what works for you. Okay. And if you undid your hands, it's totally fine. We're all going to be back in a bridge pose, so lift your hips back up one more time. Press down into the feet. Take a big breath into the chest. And then slowly release your arms. And we're going to gently release the hips down to the floor. Straighten out your legs. We're coming into Shavasana. Okay, so clear out anything in your way. Open the palms to face the ceiling. And again, we're just going to end here just by soaking up this practice. Asking yourself to just stay present and mindful in the body, in the breath for the next few minutes.